Hello and welcome to Project Personality Podcast. I'll be your so-called host, Austin Ernst, and joining me today is JKGames' own Jerica, not Jenica, which I called her several times, at least in my head. But Jerica, how you doing?
Good. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me onto the show. I'm excited to talk games with you.
Absolutely. There's nothing more fun than talking games, for sure, with a fellow nerd of sorts. Okay, so we're talking about Ellie today.
Yes.
Ellie has some dynamic plot points and personality traits that we will get into, but the one that stood out to me is, as you put on earlier, what you and I just talking, kind of like queer knowledge, as you put it.
Yes.
You're a member of that queer knowledge community.
I am.
Do you want to talk about why you're the right person to be here to talk about Ellie?
Yeah, I mean, I could go way back to when I was born and how I knew at a young age that I loved women, but that's not as easy as it sounds.
Right.
But I could also start back when I was super young, and I've been playing video games before I could read, like, no lie. I remember my mother having to help me navigate menus because I didn't know what I was clicking on, like playing my Sega Genesis. So also that probably shows my age just a tad. We also played Atari. I played Atari with my mother.
I've never played Atari, so.
Man, yeah, there you go. So yeah, I've been playing video games forever since I was little, and I love playing video games. I love all the characters I've got to experience. And I feel like even through my teenage years, one game that I wish I would have played sooner that really like got my mind sort of wrapped around like, why do we not have more like representation in video games? Like, I want to see stories that relate to my own in some way. Because I've always played like a Master Chief character or Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, all these male characters. Yeah, they're adorable. I love them. But I can't think of like many female characters that stood out to me in my childhood or my teenage years. But one game I played a little later in life was Mass Effect. And that really got like me obsessed with like, we need more gays in games. We need more options in games where you can explore like romances and storylines that align with, gay representation. So like Mass Effect was the first game I actually experienced that with. And I went on a roller coaster of emotions thinking, why hasn't this happened sooner? Has it happened sooner? Where are more games like this? So reeling that back in, like playing and, experiencing The Last of Us for the first time, knowing after we played that DLC and, obviously I could sort of get a feel that Ellie she could be, she could go, like, she may like girls, With the DLC, we found out she did. Have we given a spoiler warning, by the way? People know if they're listening to this.
I feel like you saying that right now is enough spoiler warning for them. So go ahead, lay it on them.
Cool. But yeah, just like spoiler alert, we learned that, Ellie had a girlfriend, and like, I thought that was really cool. And I was just so like, I can get chills like thinking about it. Like, wow. Like,
absolutely.
This main character is like, and she's a star in this game. And it's like, it's something I never experienced.
It's about time.
It's about time, and it's we have a long way to go still. But it's a step in the right direction. I really appreciate Naughty Dog taking those risks for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, and I totally agree with everything you're saying. As a straight white male, I know my voice doesn't exactly, reach the rooftops, or even if it does, it doesn't exactly mean much, but I completely agree with everything you're saying. So, Jerica, you are part of JKGames.
I am. Yes.
All right, how did that get started?
So my girlfriend also like sometimes thinks I have a lot of different ideas. I'm like a bag of marbles, and I just remember like I spout off things all the time, like, oh, I want to do a podcast, I want to do this, and man, I spent like a year trying to get a podcast together, and it was gonna be a Last of Us podcast, like leading up to the release of the game. I was like, I gotta find someone on Reddit, maybe someone I can meet, a stranger. That sounds like a great idea. And I found somebody, but like they totally, just quit responding. And I was like, oh man, I made a logo, I named our podcast and everything.
That's the worst.
It was pretty sad, and it got me sort of down. So I was like, ugh, I don't want to do this alone. I gotta have someone to talk to. So a coworker of mine, like she loves playing games. So one of our other coworkers also loves playing games. He was like, why don't you and Kayla start a podcast and start talking about your love for games? And it's easy because she lives right down the street. So I was like,
wow,
yeah,
convenient.
duh, why not? We can come over and hang out and talk about games every week. So that's how I got started. I pitched it to Kayla, and it was so easy. I was like, we were close friends. I mean, obviously because we worked together, but ever since the podcast, we've grown so close, and it was so natural. We have pretty good chemistry. We lean on each other a lot, and we just sort of started it, and we haven't stopped. It's the first thing I've ever committed to like this that I did not stop. So
it's really good to see. It's really good to see, for sure.
I start a lot of projects, man. I know a lot of people do, but I really do, and don't see it through. So we're having a really good time. We're just doing it for fun, and
absolutely, yeah. That's the best way to do it. If you don't have fun, if you're not showing your enjoyment on screen, then what's the point?
I know.
Or in your voices, my mistake.
Yes, voices. Yes. One day maybe we'll do more video stuff. That's also why I'm like playing with this fancy camera.
There you go.
Maybe doing live shows soon. But yeah,
I would love to see it.
JKGames, we have a podcast. You can find us on all platforms you want to listen to us on, and like we talk about games every week, the news. Sometimes we have mini-sodes, sometimes we have thematic episodes. So we talk a lot about The Last of Us. Last year was Death Stranding. So
hey, that's a great game too.
When I get obsessed with the game, like Kayla has to suffer because I cannot quit talking about it. She's like, let's move on to the next thing. So
I totally feel everything you said there too about how you just wanted to start something. So just wanted to start something, and then you said it took like a year to get this, and then the fact that you guys just started through a mutual friend, like that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I've been trying to get a podcast started. That's what this is hopefully going to turn into, as a more regular podcast for me, a weekly thing. So you're my second episode, so
dope.
Not my inaugural guest, but very, very close. Nice. I discovered JKGames through the Kind of Funny community.
Nice, yeah.
I gave you guys a listen, and you guys sounded like you knew what you're talking about, and you guys we're still loosey-goosey enough to where I loved it. To the point where you were serious enough about like the run of show, and like you had like your easy mode and all that stuff. You had that stuff down, and it's very welcoming as someone who's never listened to your podcast to come in and hear that right away. So great job on your guys' part.
Man, the feedback's great. We it's got a lot of improvement, but yeah, that's very nice. Thanks.
Absolutely. Hey, I mean it. So we're talking about Ellie today. But before we get to her personality, I wanted to talk about your personality a little bit.
Whoa, that laugh. Myself, so.
If that laugh is going to tell you anything, here we go, please. What was your overall type?
Assertive protagonist.
I like the assertive part added on to that. I mean, if you want to.
ENFJ-A.
ENFJ-A. Because everyone knows what that means. That -A, that's killer.
That's it. That's who I am.
I was a psych major in college, and that's why
I figured, I was seeing what you were putting down here. I love this idea. I think it's so cool.
I just think it's unique enough to actually pick up an audience of some sort. That's the hope, of course. But yeah, it's not the regular thing you're used to, just gaming news. I'm not saying I'm not downing what you guys are doing.
No, it's okay. We know there's lots out there. We're just hoping our personalities persevere.
There's so much. Yeah, I thought it was unique enough, and I've always wanted to include my psychology background in something I did. And this isn't exactly doing that, but it's kind of like opening the door to it. So hopefully it blossoms into more psychology stuff, like principles of design and stuff like that for video games. But yeah, so your strengths and weaknesses, explain a little bit about that and how those are either accurate or inaccurate or anything along those lines.
Well, let me go back to my notes here. A note taker, a digital note taker.
Oh, well, actually, I'll take this time I'll talk about myself just real quick. That way I'll get it out of the way.
Yeah, do it.
In my last episode, if you didn't watch the last episode, anyone watching, or you said, did you watch the first episode? Be honest, it's okay.
Which, was it Goku?
It was, yes.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
And I would have
thank you.
thought, I didn't think that was like your first episode. I just went like,
That was my
okay,
first
cool.
episode.
I just picked
that was
one,
my
like
first
whatever was at
episode.
the top. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's only one to pick from, so.
More stuff. Was there more stuff?
Yes, there was more stuff, but
yes.
this is the first episode of this podcast.
Gotcha.
The rest of my stuff on my channel is pretty much just like workshopping some stuff, just kind of putting it out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the last episode, I was an adventurer. So was Goku. Spoilers. I'm just like Goku.
Wow.
There you have it. My strengths and weaknesses were something along the lines of me being charming and me being like doubtful of myself, stuff like that, and high anxiety, stuff like that, which relates to me a lot, but not so much to Goku, I don't think, which was kind of a weird juxtaposition. But yeah, so I'm an adventurer, so if you want to learn more about that, 16personalities.com will give you everything you need to know. And a quick Google search too, you can go right to the results. Be quick and easy. But your strengths and weaknesses, your results, how those turn out, in your opinion, are they accurate, inaccurate?
I think they're pretty spot on.
That's good.
When I saw protagonists, I was just like, yeah, but I'm sort of, and I've taken this before, and I had the same thing, like, probably sometime last year I did this, and it was the same. Nothing's really changed. But I don't need to be around an adventure. I feel like a protagonist is like going on an adventure. I don't know. You can help, with this since you're an expert.
Expert. Don't put that on me.
No, you're an expert. Come on. But tolerant, yes. Reliable, yes. I tend to be quite reliable. I put others before myself and I always get the job done. If I don't, I feel incredibly guilty and I feel like I failed, which is actually one of the weaknesses is too selfless, too sensitive. Criticism, it's good. The great positive feedback you gave me earlier, it was really hard for me to accept. Honestly, had negative feedback for me, it'd be really hard to accept. So it's a mess. I'm getting better. Fluctuating self-esteem, absolutely. Don't we all? But yeah, there's nothing I really disagree with. I'm a natural leader. Yes, I'm in a leadership position with my job. Yeah, spot on. But it doesn't sound like, because I like to stay at home. I don't like to go out. And it made me see, maybe that's not as like an extrovert, introvert. I don't know how that works. A
lot of people say they are an extroverted introvert, because usually what it is it really depends on the situation.
Yes.
They can be more quiet and to themselves, but like if you're around the right people or you're just feeling it that day, you're in a good mood, then you're out there. You can do it. You can kind of swing with roll with the punches. That's how the line goes. But yeah, you just kind of, you just go with it. And that's usually how people describe it, which kind of has become a cliche, at least in my psychology classes that I took a couple years ago. So, but yeah, just for the record, you did cut out a little bit during that, but we got most of it. So don't worry.
Oh, no.
It was the video.
My
It was
mic?
the video. So like you kind of froze for a second, but that's okay. Right into Ellie after those freezing statements. So the first question, for Ellie, do you want to start about talking about the game a little bit, or would you rather just go right into Ellie and then kind of organically talk about it?
Let's go into Ellie and talk about it as we dive in.
Okay, sounds good. The first question for Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2, and just, The Last of Us as well. Her character dynamic really complicates things. Not complicates things, but it definitely becomes more dynamic as we play, that's for sure. But it says, you enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. Does that seem like something Ellie would enjoy?
I don't think so. I base it
I don't think so
on the one social event we saw was sitting alone by herself, sort of awkwardly.
Talking about that dance?
So. Yeah, the dance scene. Just,
so are
watching, that's what I do.
That's what I do as well.
Creeping in the back.
Seems like an Ellie thing. Yeah. So are we going to hard disagree on this? A soft disagree? Or
hard disagree. Let's do a
hard disagree.
It's hard for me to be in the middle here, but we may find ourselves doing that.
Yeah, that's what this is all about. Let's have this discussion. Yeah, I know. I completely agree on this one, though. Hard disagree for Ellie enjoying vibrant social events. That's definitely not her scene. Second question. You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas. So does Ellie daydream? Is that something Ellie does?
I know she journals a lot.
She does journal a lot. That's very true.
But it's very real. It's like what's going on in her life. I don't see a lot of like daydreaming journaling, if that makes sense. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree. I don't think she has lofty like ambition. Maybe
she would have if this wasn't happening. If she wasn't in this world.
I completely agree with that. She'd be a
she has a great imagination.
Artsy of some sorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like in this world, she's just grounded into kind of being, at least on the, like, your first impression of her is she's kind of grounded and kind of dull, I would say.
Yeah.
So you often spend time exploring unrealistic and intriguing ideas. Is that just a hard disagree, or maybe middle of the road there, since she does journal, and we do agree that if this wasn't a thing, so you maybe like the middle of the road there?
I like the middle there. Yep. I was like, I don't want it to go in the middle, and then the second one. Yeah, it's in the middle. For sure.
So the next question. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. I
don't know. I feel like with everything she's experienced, how her mindset is, going on all these, what's the word I'm looking for? Scouting adventures, or, taking a look around the area. She probably plans a lot. I feel like that's ingrained in her at this point.
I don't know if I mean, those are like bare bones travel plans, sure, like by definition travel plans, but I don't, your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. I'm trying to think of like when she had those moments with Joel where they went to certain locations. I mean, I guess this is a weird question because they kind of have to be detailed in this world that they're living in. Because like go down one wrong alley and that could be it.
I think she would be cool with a list of just like, I feel like she, like thinking about the museum scene, like you said, is just sort of like going where she wanted to go. And thinking about how when she jumped into the water and just went to the other side without really thinking about it, maybe that can help us answer this question.
That's a great point. Yeah. So that
was sort of unplanned.
Yeah, so like a rough list of ideas. So is this one like maybe a middle of the road agree? I know you said you don't like middle of the road, but
yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not gonna fight me.
I'm not that picky. I promise. We're fine.
Okay.
I'm not a serious gal. I hope you understand that. So I was like, whatever I say, I'm not that serious about it. Or am I?
I get that impression, but I feel like there's something hiding behind the shadows here with you. We'll get there. But yeah, if you want to argue all you want about anything. That's why we're here. We want to get this right. We want to find out who Ellie is. So if you want to put me in my place, you put me in my place.
Okay. I'll do it.
Next question. You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it has taken place.
Definitely agree.
You agree with that one?
Yes.
I think she does do this. I just don't know if she would.
If it's like the priority. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say middle of the road agree.
Okay.
All right. Next question. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally and not try to solve their problem.
I feel like she's definitely, it's weird because I've never seen her actually do this. So I don't know. Just trying to get inside her head. I've never seen her give, well, yeah, what do you think?
My first impression of this is definitely not try to solve the problem. But I don't know if her first instinct is to support them emotionally either.
No. Can't support herself, so.
I just don't think she would know how to react. I think she's just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, just like, is there a danger around? Why are you not okay?
So because I know, at least in my mind, it's a hard not try to solve the problem. It wouldn't be that. So that would be on the disagree side. So I want to do like a soft agree, like the first agree. Just because if it had to be one of these, it's definitely be there emotionally rather than to solve the problem. Does that make sense?
Yep. Like it.
And then the last question on the first page, we're rolling through this. We're rolling through it.
Let's do it.
People can rarely upset you. I feel like she has a temper.
She's got a really bad temper.
Yeah.
So that's actually that's what the game's about, is her temper.
Absolutely. Yeah. Revenge.
Hard disagree. I mean, right off the bat in the game, like, You could already see like someone apologizing to her, and like, I don't know, she just gets rubbed the wrong way a lot of times when it doesn't need to escalate. So
yeah, she definitely speaks her mind. So
she does.
Yeah, she doesn't hold back. Hard disagree. Hard disagree.
She would have a hard
Next
time
page.
on Twitter these days.
Yeah, thank God. She dodged that bullet. Twitter or an apocalypse? I honestly don't know which one I'd rather take.
I know.
All right. First question on this page. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation. I cut off and keep it going. Sorry.
Okay. With this one too, like she has a really hard time conversating. Like you see her look down at her feet a lot, looking up at the air, just sort of like, I don't know. It's a lot of shoulder shrugging. I feel like, So I definitely don't think, Ellie's definitely not a conversationalist. She writes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like she converses that way a lot, but like talking to other people, she would need some help to keep it going.
So I think this is one of the easiest questions we've had so far. I think it's just a hard agree. Yeah.
Hard agree. Yep.
Totally agree with everything you said. Nailed it. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. I feel like she is responsible, but I also feel like she's also, okay, bear with me. I don't know how else to put this, so this is going to sound bad, but she's also kind of easily manipulated. That's not exactly what I mean, but like,
no, but like she can lose.
If they nudge her enough times, she's going to go off and do whatever. If that makes sense. She
doesn't like to be controlled. Like,
yeah, I agree with that, but I almost feel like that statement is kind of contrary to what I just said.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Now that I think about it.
So my initial instinct on this one was a soft agree, the tiniest agree. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible.
I feel like regardless, she gets back to what her plans were. You know, yes. I see that happening definitely. Not getting distracted like I would.
But is it? Oh, wow. But is it as soon as possible?
It depends. It depends. I feel like if it was still like, maybe she had these plans and these other plans align with these plans. If everything's to get to from A to point B, then yeah. I don't know. It depends. Like if you're getting, this one's tough. I don't know.
This one is tough. It's either middle agree or soft agree. It's not hard agree, because if it was hard agree, we wouldn't be bickering about this for so long on this question.
Let's do a soft. I
soft agree.
Yes.
All right.
So I feel like she would still get back to what she wanted to as soon as possible.
The next question. You rarely worry if you made a good impression on someone you met. Does she dwell on that? Is that something Ellie does?
I feel like sorta. I don't think she's had to experience that. I don't know if she's experienced that enough to even have those emotions, if that makes sense.
Right.
She doesn't worry about her impression at all. I'm thinking about it, she doesn't have a care. She doesn't care.
That I totally agree with. Impressions on people is not something she worries about or stresses about often, if at all.
So yeah, disagree.
So you rarely, well, no, it says you rarely worry. So agree. I feel like that would be a hard agree, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. It would be a challenge for you to spend the whole weekend all by yourself without feeling bored. I don't think so.
No, she definitely can entertain herself.
Absolutely. Yeah, she got her trusty guitar. She could just journal. She could just go out and murder clickers.
She's fine. She has plenty to do.
For sure. So hard disagree?
Yes.
Next question.
Real quick, because I'm doing this with you. Getting back to your plans, was that like the middle of the road agree or the first agree?
That's the tiniest little agree.
Got it. Okay, just because I'm doing this too.
No, that's good because on my first episode, that's good because on my first episode we thought we were like on par, and then we ended up different results at the end.
That's what I'm afraid of, so I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, moving on. You are more of a detail-oriented than a big picture person. I would say she's kind of meticulous.
Yeah,
I don't know if I feel like she's almost like silently meticulous though. Like she's not gonna like if you move her stuff on her desk or something, she's just gonna walk up and fix it. She's not gonna like say anything or do a lot to change that. My dog is
definitely agree with that. Yeah, I just don't see her like being a micromanager or like making it vocal that
Right.
that's a problem. But I do agree. Yes, I do see some detail-oriented characteristics in her.
But is she a big picture person? I feel like she kind of tries to avoid that. I feel like she actively kind of tries to avoid that. Because
She does.
if we were talking about the big picture here, she probably wouldn't have gone back for Abby.
No. Yeah, that's right.
Right?
There you go. There you
Right?
have it. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and put this one. I'll go ahead and go to the next one. I think we got it. Yeah. I agree.
but which level of agree? Is it hard agree or is it maybe the second agree?
Soft agree.
Soft agree. So the tiniest
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. You are very affectionate with people you care about. No. Ellie is not very affectionate. Ellie, I'm sorry, I love you, but you do not show emotion.
No, have you seen her face through most of the game? Just like,
I'm saying, unless it's anger or like disgust or like something along those lines. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would do a hard disagree on this one.
maybe in part 3. We'll see.
Oh, so we can talk about that later. Jesus.
Yeah.
You have a careful and methodical approach to life. I would say she does.
Yeah, she definitely does. Because, like, I mean, that's just a given in the world they live in. They sort of have
Absolutely.
to. Like, that's just ingrained, like, everything you do. So,
I feel like the only time she doesn't, I'm going to go on a hard agree on this one for sure. But I feel like the only time she doesn't is when someone else is involved. Like, I'm blanking on her girlfriend's name.
Oh, Dina.
Dina. Wow, shame
Yes.
on me. My
It's
lord.
okay. That happens to me all the time. I forget people that I see every day, and I'm like, it's not
Same.
It's not you, it's me.
I work at a retail store. People literally have badges, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I could just read, but I don't. So, but yeah, I feel like the only time she wouldn't be, or she'd be more carefree and less methodical, would be if like Dino kind of shoved her in that direction, or Joel. Joel wouldn't do that, but you know what I mean. Someone else.
I think it's only because like she trusts that person. Like she can sort of like let go a little bit when it comes to making those choices. So
I
yeah.
totally agree. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. You were still bothered by the mistakes you made a long time ago. I feel like, well, the thing she's bothered by isn't her mistake.
It's not hers, yeah.
Yeah. Man, this is actually a little harder.
But
because
this is hard because, like, I feel like at some point, yes, I think she's really bothered.
She's bothered for allowing that to happen, in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. That as in the ending of the first game. Is that what we're referring to? Or
Yes.
Okay. So
I mean, you can consider it a mistake to trust Joel and like love Joel that much too. So I feel like
I was thinking
bothered.
that too, but we come full circle on that, and clearly that's not a mistake.
I don't know. This one also, it's really tough. I don't know.
You were still bothered by mistakes you made. I think it's a soft agree, because there's definitely that emotion of being like regretful of something. So I think it's a soft agree.
Agreed. I like it.
All right. At parties and similar, okay, so this test, you said you've taken it before, but this test likes to throw the exact same question at you 4 or 5 times. Just to
It
be
wants
sure.
to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So at parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action.
Agreed.
Which we already answered, but this is agree. This is hard agree. Ellie is not a partier.
No.
She does get high.
She does, but it's real chill, man, and on a couch and real chill environment, okay? Not a lot of action.
I love that scene. It's
awesome.
It was just a nice like break from the action. Action as in, clickers and death and anything horrible. But yeah, I love that.
This is nice.
And then it gets cut short. Anyway. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back to that scene. When Jesse gets there and he's like, what are you guys doing here? Blah blah blah. He's like, wait, is that weed? I love that.
Yeah. He's like, nice. This is weed? What? Good God, there's so much.
I just love the genuine reaction to like, wait, what? Right.
Out of everything, is that weed?
Of all things to find. And then I also liked how it was tied to Dina's old like exploring partner, and that's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Do you remember his name?
Eugene.
I'm so bad with
Yes.
this. Wait, you're on top of it.
I just replayed it again. Well, I'm doing my replay to get the platinum trophy, so it's fresh on my mind.
When you're insane, I am not platinuming that game.
It's not too hard. You just have to collect a lot of stuff. So
I'm also not a platinum person. I only have 2 platinums. I have Rocket League because that's just a game I've
that's
played way
great.
too much, and then I have the Spider-Man platinum, which
See,
is
that one's a tough one.
really
It was tough. Yeah, I
Spider-Man.
look at the list and I'm intimidated by it. Yeah, I haven't gotten back to that. That's
That is
another
the
one I
most
really want to platinum.
that is the most obtainable platinum I've ever done. I've only done 2, I
And
guess, but
I trust
But
you.
yeah, it was fairly easy for me, someone who does not platinum games. Like I got done with everything and I had like 2 or 3 trophies to pop, and I was like, I want to do it. So yeah,
Man,
it's a similar thing to how I feel about Ghost.
I'll revisit it. I'll revisit it now. You've
As
got
you
me.
should. It's a great game. Even if you don't want to platinum it, you should revisit it for sure.
Did you say something about Ghost?
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
I am at 92% on that one, but I'm also
one's an
not
easy
trying
one.
to get exactly. But I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is even harder than Spider-Man. So just to put that in perspective for you.
God, what's wrong with me? I didn't feel that. What? Maybe I was just looking at it from the incorrect lens. I don't know. I was just like, ew, this looks horrible.
It's
Not
worth
doing
revisiting.
it.
I promise you. I promise you it's
will.
worth revisiting. Yes. Now back to the matter at hand.
Yes.
After the Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man tangent that everyone was here to listen to, you often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay, this is odd because I would say a hard agree, but I feel like she's also one of those people.
I know. Yeah.
So it's kind of hypocritical. Yeah, as a character, I feel like
that is a flaw she really does have. This is it. She should read this right now.
We found it. We can end the video. We have it. So yeah, this is gonna be a hard or a soft agree. I would think.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I like that.
Okay.
I'm just trusting you on this one because I'm like, ugh.
I feel like that is a hypocritical tendency she has, where
she does. Yeah.
Like, if someone's gonna like have their emotions wear their emotions, their heart on their shoulder, and just kind of live their life that way, she's kind of gonna like silently judge them. I think a little bit.
Just like, why can't they get their stuff together? I've been through this. You don't hear her say those things, but like just how she reacts, the lack of reaction sometimes.
She will express everything you just said in like an ugh. a little exactly like you said earlier. She doesn't really conversate much. She's more of a shoulder shrug and kind of an ugh person. So for sure. Moving on. When looking for a movie to watch, which is not something I ever pictured Ellie doing, you can spend ages browsing the catalog. I like to think Ellie is just, in another world. She's just looking at Netflix, just scrolling with a guitar to her side.
I definitely see her browsing.
Oh yeah, she would be very indecisive. I almost feel like which is odd, but I feel like this is a hard agree, which we have no substance matter for this.
No, we don't.
I feel like she's the type of person that
I'm trying to think, like anything that I could say, like, this is why.
Right. The evidence, which we have 0 of at the moment.
I feel like let's imagine this. Maybe imagine if she did get access to some sort of hotspot internet thing and Netflix was installed, and for some reason this person still had an account and they were being charged monthly and she could watch whatever she wanted. I think she'd be just overwhelmed, and yes, she would never pick anything. She just has never experienced that before.
Unless she scrolled apart something about like National Geographic where it's like space or like underwater or something like that.
And she's like, exactly. I want to learn all about that. Ooh.
Yeah. But I do feel like she is a creative. She is someone who talks through that lens of art and stuff like that. But I feel like most creatives kind of scroll. They're like, I don't know if that's my thing today. So I feel like Ellie definitely leans towards that direction. So I'm going to go hard agree.
I like it. I'm down. I support it.
Perfect. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. And I would say so because goddamn.
Yeah, because...
Ellie, if you weren't calm under pressure... Or wait, okay, hold on. The fact that you are calm under all the pressure you are kind of worries me.
Yeah, she just feels nothing. Except anger. It's scary. Absolutely. Definitely a Sith Lord.
So hard agree?
Yes, hard agree.
Okay, hard agree. A Sith Lord, that's a poll. I just picture Ellie as a Jedi. Like, is that...
Yeah.
There's
Let's go.
Fan art of that somewhere.
Oh, I know that exists. I'll find it.
Absolutely.
I'll send it to you.
When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation. No.
Nah, that's that same question. Yeah.
I disagree. Yeah, hard disagree. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. Now, this question was really odd when it came to Goku because I was like, does he dream? Like, is this someone who dreams? Anyway,
Yeah,
we
I
ever
don't
see
think I've
a
ever seen him
dream?
dream.
Goku, yeah, either. But do we ever see Ellie dream? Is there a scene of her? I mean,
She writes about like waking up from nightmares.
she does. Okay.
I think, yeah, I feel like I've read that at some point. Could be wrong. That
And
one's fuzzy.
the scenes where we see those nice, which were very much so needed in the plot of this game, the nice moments with Joel, were those
Yeah.
just flashbacks randomly? She wasn't like she wasn't sleeping during any of these.
No.
Okay.
But
I'm just clarifying.
It's one of those unanswered. I don't know. You could be onto something.
I don't think she like crashes. But when you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. Since she's
Like
a creative,
out there, yeah, like just out there dreams, like
yes, I feel like if we saw one of Ellie's dreams, I feel like it would be bizarre and fantastical.
yes.
Especially in this world that they're in. Well, actually, okay, hold on. Just let me put this in context, because if she lives in a bizarre and fantastical world and she dreams of that, are her dreams bizarre and fantastical? Because at that point, aren't they just bland and dull?
Yeah, maybe she's just like dreaming of working in a cubicle. You know?
and that's bizarre and fantastical.
To her, yeah, it's like, what was that? That was really relaxing and comforting. They had coffee and everything.
She doesn't even know what coffee is, right? Like, she knows what it is, but like, has she ever had coffee? Because there's a whole thing about that, about how Joel trades something.
Yeah, I feel like Joel talks about it too at some point, and she does not like coffee.
Yeah, she's like, that tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Which she's kind of right. Coffee does kind of taste like dirt. I love coffee.
It does. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, for sure. That and tea as well. So, I don't think we decided anything on this question.
No, we didn't.
When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. Is this our first one where it's kind of in the middle?
Yeah, I agree, because like, I don't really know really with that one, but it could go either way.
I feel like we almost need more context. Even though we've had 2 full games, but like, I don't know.
We'll just
I'm trying to think if there's
Neil
any
Druckmann
moment.
right now.
Yeah, okay, so we're planning my
Ellie dream, and what does she dream about?
I'm trying to think if there's any scene where she's sleeping.
actually, she is. When they're sleeping, when she is sleeping in the theater. It's right after they get to the theater the first time, and she gets the guitar and sits down. When she nods off, she does. I think that's when she takes a nap. That's when we get the flashback of her going to the museum.
See, I knew you were the perfect person to have on this podcast.
So that could, that makes me think maybe that's her reminiscing that. Yeah, that's definitely a dream. I see that as a dream. I didn't really think about it.
That is definitely a dream, but I almost feel like that dream is used as a plot point.
It is.
Like, I don't know if that's. I mean, clearly it's a plot point. Don't get me wrong. But I also don't. So I don't know if that's.
Is she always dreaming about that stuff?
Yeah, I don't know if that's an accurate representation of her dreams. Is the problem.
I need more dreams from Ellie. Okay.
More dreams. Neil Druckmann. More dreams. You heard it here first. All right. I think we're gonna stay with middle of the road because I don't think.
I don't feel comfortable leaning either way.
Totally agree. Okay, one second. I just want to say one thing. If I were to go one direction, it would be a soft agree. I'm not going to, but if I were, because I feel like since she is a creative,
let's do it. Let's do it. No,
do you want to?
I do. I feel good about when you brought that. I'm like, because I was still sort of like
kind of hovering.
Like as much as she like draws and like imagines the world, like she has to have really like what's the word I'm looking for? Illustrated sort of mind.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Thinks more in like detailed images or like colorful images rather than like dull, even though she's a dull human being. Yeah, okay, let's go soft degree. You convinced me.
I feel better about that. I can sleep better at night. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the make it or break it moment. In your opinion, it is sometimes okay to step on others to get ahead in life. After the second game, maybe.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Hard agree on that one.
Hard agree, okay.
I think hard agree.
Yeah.
Well, it depends.
I'm with you.
I've never seen her.
I'm totally with you. The thing is, I didn't want to. Like, I was like, I love Ellie. Would she do this? And I'm like, no, she would. She would totally do this.
I think in order to like protect her friends, her family. Like, that's what I look, like, get ahead in life. She's not really looking out for herself. That's why it's a little weird, because like when I read this for myself, I'm thinking, where can I get a step ahead at work, or like,
See, now that you say that, I
get
think
more
that,
money.
right. No, I totally agree. I think that changes it to a soft agree is the thing, because
Okay.
she's gonna step on other people, but it's not for her own personal gain in a sense.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I feel really good. Thanks.
Okay.
That's why you're here.
Soft
Yes.
agree. All right. Perfect. That's why I'm here. You heard it. She said
That's why you're here, man.
it.
Yeah.
You are dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. See, the other question about this was like, when you get sidetracked, and now it's like, you don't get sidetracked.
No, I don't see her getting off task ever.
Right.
So, pretty dedicated. She's dedicated. She's probably the most dedicated person I've ever played. She knows what she's
dedicated,
going
but
at. Yeah.
I also feel like she is a depressed individual.
Mm-hmm.
And depressed individuals sometimes aren't exactly motivated to, have those goals and stick to them. And I'm trying to think of something in either of the games that support this, and I can't think of anything. But my gut tells me this isn't a hard agree. I agree. I think it's an agree, but I just don't think it's a hard agree.
Okay.
How do you think about that second agree? Again, if you want to argue, please argue.
I'm trying to think like any hobbies or things she's done. Like, obviously, I could imagine her working really hard to go on patrols and being really dedicated to that. But she also draws. She also plays guitar. She loves watching movies. So, like, what is she? You don't see her, and granted, her work's really good, and she can play the guitar, but she's not, like, fantastic at any of these things. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, her drawings were way better than I could have done, but, like, what if she had
time to
dedicate?
Your basic creative.
Yeah. So, I mean, she gets sidetracked, for sure.
So wait, hold on. You are dedicated and focused on it, but rarely getting sidetracked. So if that term rarely being there.
Okay,
Does that make it a hard agree though? Because if we hard agree on this, I mean, she does get sidetracked, but it's only rarely.
She does get sidetracked. I feel her like she would get a.
Maybe this would be a hard agree. We're going back.
Okay.
It's either hard agree or second agree. One of those two. I'll let you choose.
Soft agree.
So hard middle of the road agree or soft agree. So you want to do the smallest circle agree. That's what you want to do. That's okay. As long as it's on the agree side, I'm okay with it.
Let's go halfway in between, like middle agree. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Flex a little bit more on that one. Okay.
If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, or your knowledge.
Yeah. For sure.
I don't know. I feel like
agree.
in the first game, yes. In the second game, not so much. If she makes a mistake, she doesn't give a shit. Like, she's just going.
You're right.
But counterpoint, because I can see you thinking about it.
I don't know. Yeah.
If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your abilities, or your knowledge. I feel like she's pretty confident in her abilities, or she wouldn't be hunting down people.
You're right.
And she's clearly made a lot of mistakes. And I don't think she doubted herself.
She doesn't. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Let's just say no, because I don't see that. I don't see that as evidence.
So this is a hard disagree, because we don't think she doubts herself. We don't think she doubts her abilities, and we don't think she doubts her knowledge.
God.
Right? Is
if
that what
she
we're
makes
saying?
a mistake.
Yes.
I know she doubts her. I feel like she does have doubts of like, is this the right thing I'm doing? I'm going to do it anyways, but I do like, maybe it's not doubt, but just like, this isn't, I don't know.
I feel like she did definitely wrestle with that.
Like she's wrestling with it the whole time.
Yeah.
I feel like she's wrestling with, she knows she's going to do it, but she wrestles with like how this is going to affect everybody around her. Like the whole time, but she puts that on the back burner, if that makes sense. But eventually she will doubt herself, but she's just like she is forcing it out of her mind right now.
So is this maybe a middle of the road or soft disagree?
Yes, let's just do that.
The soft one?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
When at a social event, here we go, one of these questions again. When at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to ones you already know. So they flipped it on us. It's not a disagree.
They did, something like
or whatever,
agree.
or whatever. Yeah. So when at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people, correct? And mostly talk to ones you already know. Yeah, this is a easy agree. Yeah.
Easy.
Easiest question for Ellie, for sure. And they give it to us like five times. Probably more. All right, next page. You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical.
I could see her getting, open to it, open to conversations like that.
I think this is a, usually, so you think she'd be into philosophical discussions?
I don't know if say into it, but definitely open to she would be interested in, not just like, let me start this conversation. I feel like she would definitely be a part of that conversation. So definitely would not lose interest.
She would not lose interest.
Mm-mm. What do you think? I don't know. I'm just like going my gut here.
You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. I think she would kind of fight with losing interest, but if it was the right topic, I think she would be.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what
I do feel like it'd be like a 60-40 scenario where like 60% of the time she's going to lose interest is the problem. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like that 40% of the time she's going to be in it.
Agreed. I like what you said.
So you usually lose interest. So we agree with that.
Agree.
But yes, but is it middle of the road or soft? Because it's not hard. I can tell you that much.
I don't do math, so which one do you think is closer to what you just said?
The 60-40?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's go middle of the road, agree.
Okay. You
would never let yourself cry in front of others. Okay, the hard never gets me.
It does.
You would never let yourself cry in front of others.
I don't think she wants to.
Yes, I'm sure she does.
She wants to hide it. She does not want to. She's not going to be like, I'm crying because I want you to comfort me. It's just like, I'm ashamed. Don't look at me.
I totally agree.
It's like when I stub my toe and someone's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, just don't talk to me. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
I actually recently stubbed my toe and I broke my toe. So that's a thing that happened. Yeah, that's fun.
Oh, I'm scared. I feel like I'm done. Oh my God.
It's a toe.
Scared. I know I can't do that.
Terrifying. Just cut it off.
Poor toe. Yeah, cut it off. Who needs it?
Who needs it? You would never let yourself cry in front of others. I feel like this is a middle of the road agree because she's always gonna fight it. Always. But that hard never is what gets me because if it would say like you never want to let yourself cry in front of others, then it's a hard agree. I feel like since it doesn't have that word.
She does not have the ultimate control. She would still lose that.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's losing
middle of the road. Let's go.
Middle of the road agree.
Well, agrees. Middle of the agrees.
Yes. Correct. You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet and intimate ones. Here's a similar question to what we've got 4 times. So more quiet and intimate?
Yes.
Is what you would prefer. So this is a hard disagree, correct?
Yep.
You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. This is an odd question for the world she lives in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like literally anyone in this world would have that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, hey, once this civilization over here or once this city or town gets bustling, like we can get back to what we were. Like that's always going to be a conversation in a
everyone's like that's like the only hope they have is like
right. I just don't know if Ellie is the one actively talking about it. I think she'd think about it. I think she'd think about it silently to herself.
Yeah. So not discussing.
Yes, exactly. That was the key word. You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. So I think this is like middle of the road disagree because the thought of it is there.
Yep.
When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head.
Yeah. Because I mean, like...
This one you think...
Her heart's not in the right place. She's listening to her emotions.
That's a really good point. When it comes to
but I know your head's actually where all that stuff sort of comes from.
Right. I mean, if we're talking like scientifically.
Yes.
No.
Scientifically, exactly, you know.
I don't even have glasses, and I did the action.
I know.
Life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. I would say yes.
I feel like she jumps in without thinking a lot.
Yes, I feel like she's definitely just head first and see what happens. But I do feel like Ellie isn't a dumb person.
She's not.
I don't think this is a hard degree. I think it's a middle.
Yeah, did you know, when you were Abby trying to fight her, that was the toughest boss fight I've ever been a part of. It was really devastating.
I loved it. I loved it just because they went there. Like, just because they're like, here's this character you love, kill them.
I know, and I was just like, no, please don't let me do this. Please.
Things where I literally thought back, once you get to that scene, the scene of killing Joel, I literally thought back, I was like, if I ever play this again, I'm going to try to, like, kill Abby. Like, I'm going to find a way to break the game to where Abby dies. And that's going to be my canon. Yeah.
There's possibility.
So, you mostly listen to your heart rather than... So, yeah, middle of the road agree, right? Okay. Next question. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch, or experience.
Well, she loves space. But you can sort of see that. Wow.
I was thinking more like, religion, but
that's true too.
You cannot imagine, like, and I don't see her as a religious person is the thing.
For them, like, all they see, like, why I went to space is really because, like, all she's been able to see is, like, books and, like, maybe some videos.
I love that you went to space because I didn't even think about it. I love that you went directly to space.
I was trying to explain it. I was like, well, let me talk this out to make sure it makes sense. But because she really hasn't seen it, like, she hasn't seen what we've obviously been able to see. And we got a picture of a black hole a few years ago.
Yeah, so, I think you just gave a picture-perfect example of why this question is a no. Because it says you cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to study of something you cannot see,
can do it.
Touch, or experience. And she does not, well, does she see space?
I mean, if you look up, you sort of do, but, like, in the moon...
And she experiences that wonderful thing that Joel does for her in that little... You don't want to talk about it?
Yes. One of my favorite... That's honestly, like, I went back because, like, all of my friends were all playing Sidetracked again, off on a tangent. But we went back, like, all of us were playing at the same time. And I remember getting back at work, and I was telling my friends, like, I got to my favorite segment or sequence that I ever experienced in a video game. It's up there. It could be the best. I gotta really think hard on that, but, like, it's definitely a highlight of, like, something I will not forget. That sequence was so good.
And I think that's because of the rest of the game. Like, if that was like a standalone thing, like, you'd be like, oh, that's sweet. But, like, because of the juxtaposition and the tones and all that, like, that scene stands out in my head too. And, like, I was like, I don't even like space. I don't give shit about space. I don't. It's not my thing. I love
space. I'm obsessed with it.
It's
really cool. Have you seen the black hole? It's out there. Okay. It looks like
I just didn't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, so it's hard to tell sometimes. No, I love space. I'm obsessed from time to time.
Yeah, I mean,
looking at pictures.
The more I think about space, the more I'm terrified about it. So, like, I just don't think about it. But space is just not my thing.
It is a little creepy. Man, I don't know why it fascinates. It's so scary. It's cool.
It's kind of like that with the ocean too. Like, the ocean is very similar to me in my mind, where it's like we have no idea what's there. Like, so if you go deeper and deeper, we have no idea. No idea. Yeah. Anyway, so you cannot imagine yourself.
Huge squid.
So this is a hard disagree, right? Is that what we're agreeing on?
I don't think it's a hard disagree because I don't think we still have enough evidence. Yeah.
You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to it. I keep rereading this. Sorry for people watching and listening. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something you cannot see, touch, or experience. You cannot imagine yourself. I feel like she can imagine herself. So it is a disagree.
Mm-hmm.
So middle of the road disagree?
I like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Do you usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive? Oh my God, they went there. This test went there. They freaking did it. Oh my God.
What do you think?
This one's tough. I'm just kidding. This is agree. This is a hard agree.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Yeah. Done. It's like they knew her.
Yeah, they
wanted to really ask her this question.
You often make decisions on a whim. Yes, that's her. That's Ellie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. I would say for the most part, yes. But there are exceptions, like with Dina and What's the child's name?
JJ,
JJ. Okay.
the baby.
I get that. Yeah, I get that mixed up with. I think it may be AJ in the Walking Dead games. I don't know if you played those, like the Telltale.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I played season 1. I'm about to get back to season 2, but I forgot who is he on season 1?
No, he's not.
Okay,
and
that's why I do not know
disclaimer. Disclaimer. I've only played the first 2, but I've watched YouTube playthroughs of the other ones. So because I fell off. I just fell off those games. I enjoyed the story, but it wasn't enough to hook me. Anyway, back to back to Ellie here. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. So, yeah, I think this is a soft degree.
Yes, because like it depends like what people she's spending time with. I don't think it's easy for her, but like I could see her being satisfied by spending time with people that she knew really well or knows really well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has stuff only in common with.
This is an agree, but there are clear exceptions to the rule. You often put that was the smallest degree. The smallest degree.
Cool.
Yep. You often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning or the message of a song or movie. See, now that I've said she's a creative, I feel like I put myself in a hole here. It almost makes me think that I have to say yes to this, but I don't know if she like revels in that. I don't know if that's something she does.
She has to. If you're like making your own stuff, like you have to think about like when it comes to music, especially if she hears a song, like I'm sure she's trying to think of like the meaning of like I see her doing that for music. I don't know though, because she does Ellie have any original songs?
No, she only sings Joel
covers.
Songs. Yeah, she sings Joel songs. That's still a cover technically, I think.
She's not like a song, like she doesn't write music, but she does write poetry or at least stuff in her journal. Not so much. I don't think she is really deep into doing that.
Right. Yeah. I think the wording special effort is where
no special effort
this is a
here.
no. Yeah. So it's just like a middle of the road disagree because like I could see her if the situation is right where she does this, but not very often.
Yeah.
Middle of the road disagree. Okay. You always know exactly what you want. Exactly what you. I don't think anyone hard agrees on this. To be fair, you always know exactly what you want. So is this? I think this is a middle of the road disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's just
I've never seen her like.
Easiest way.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whatever you think on that one, because I have no idea.
Well, you always know exactly what you want. I'm trying to think. Okay, now to play devil's advocate, she was pretty hell-bent on revenge like the entire game. And that seemed like exactly what she wanted.
She wanted to do.
So, but it said you always know exactly what you want. And clearly she, as we said before, she wrestles with that a lot.
Yeah.
Especially Dina coming along at all.
Yeah, so. It's tough. So, yeah,
I think
I like
middle of the road disagree. I feel like is the right answer for that one. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently. We already had this question, right?
Yeah, It was like she doesn't dwell on that, right?
Yeah. And since this has the term rarely, yes, so you rarely think back on the choices you made. Yeah, so I think this is a hard degree because it's saying like you hardly ever do this.
Yeah, so
yeah, I think this is a hard degree.
We really agree with that.
Yes.
Here we go.
When in a I didn't get there yet, and you said, here we go, and I was like, wait, what? And then you got me. When in a public place, do you usually stick to the quieter and less crowded areas? Yes. Yes, that's a yes. Just auto answer all of those for us. You tend to focus on present realities rather than future possibilities.
I say, yeah, I do agree.
I would say middle of the road degree. I feel like, like kind of how we talked about it before about like what the world could look like. It's something she could think about, but she's not going to be very vocal about it. So I'm going to go middle of the road on that one. On the agree side. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. Why'd you laugh? What was that?
Yes, she does. I feel like she just doesn't, like we've talked about this already, just...
Right.
She's not the one to talk about emotions with.
Yep. No, absolutely. You often have a hard time. So is that a hard degree?
I feel like she can feel pity. She can feel like this is uncomfortable. I just don't know what to do, but I wish I could. I just don't, like, I want to do something, but I don't know what. So I just maybe middle degree.
See, I agree with everything you said, but it says you often have a hard time understanding.
Thank you. See, I'm such a scanner reader. So that's probably why.
That's what
I need you to help me take this test. That could be the wrong thing.
Yeah, there you go. We'll redo it. We'll redo it.
Okay. No, yeah, everyone's like, no!
They clicked out already. They're gone.
Yeah, like...
When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. I don't know. Because we agreed that she is methodical in a way. Mm-hmm. But she does things on a whim. So when starting to work on a project, okay, so I'm trying to picture her working on a project. Building a crib for the baby. Let's just say that. Okay. Let's say she did that. Okay. You prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. Yes? I don't know. This is hard, actually.
I've never seen her get crafty.
Yeah.
I've never seen her work on a project.
Do you want to go directly in the middle on this one?
Yeah, because I don't feel, let's do that just in case, because I don't know.
I agree. Feels more safe that way.
Depends on the situation.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you.
I feel like she does, because she knows she can't, she's not an easy person to be with. But I don't think she dwells on that.
Yeah.
How long will it be?
But I also feel because it says when you know someone thinks highly of you. So, these are very specific people.
Okay.
And you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed in you. She probably would doubt, is Dina just going to leave? Or is Joel ever going to forgive me for what I said, kind of a thing.
Yep, because, thinking about...
For those specific people.
Mm-hmm. The secret she's keeping, she has to be so closed off, she's probably always considering, I'm never going to be able to be, with somebody, because I have so much stuff I can't talk about.
Even when she does open up about it, Dina's like, good joke.
Yeah, no, she's like, well, God, I can't even be... I felt so bad. I was like, aw, man.
I tried. Swing and a miss. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it'll be. So I would say it's just a middle of the road degree.
Yeah.
I don't think she's dwelling on this to a point where she's getting worked up about it.
No.
You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. No.
Yeah, no.
She does not. Thanks, Tess.
Disagree.
70%. Hey, we're
almost
making
done.
some moves here. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. So we had this before.
Yeah.
Where daydreaming isn't really something she does.
No. We don't see her zoned out at any point in time. Very focused.
I think this is a middle of the road disagree, just because it says you often drift away, and I feel like she might if the situation arises. So middle of the road disagree.
Okay.
You look after yourself first, and others come in second. I don't think she's selfish. Is she selfish?
No. It's usually...
Well, the entire game is her being selfish, to be fair.
She is, but she's doing it all for Joel. But it's also because she...
Hey, that's a good... that's a good point, but also, that's how she's, rationalizing her doing this thing. You know what I mean? That's what anger is. That's exactly what anger is. It's rationalizing doing a bad thing and being stuck on that. So you look after yourself first and others come in second. I would say middle of the road disagree, maybe. Because she's not, maybe a soft disagree. Maybe a soft disagree because she's not evil about it. Well, okay, maybe she is evil. So hold on.
Because if you think about the very end,
But the very end is an epiphany, kind of.
Yeah, because but at the same time, she obviously she's not putting, her family first. She's going off to do this thing, but she's doing it to see if it maybe gives her some peace. So maybe she could be okay. But there I go, rationalizing why she's going again. I don't know.
See, it's not saving us this time. It doesn't have the word rarely. It doesn't have the word often.
Okay.
It just says you look after yourself first, and others.
She doesn't.
I'm saying that as a bad thing because I think that would help us.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because because the entirety of this game is her looking at herself first, and others come in second. So.
Okay, with that lens, let me just keep in mind. Let me just do that.
So I think my initial impression of this was a middle to a disagree, but thinking about it and talking about it that way, I think it's a soft agree, maybe.
I agree. Yeah.
Agree. Okay, so it's the softest one.
Soft agree. Yes.
Okay. Because clearly Ellie is a flawed individual, as we all are. But like, I feel like Ellie's dynamic in this game is showing off her biggest flaw, like the entire game, is that she's an angry person. Yeah, she wants revenge for sure. Even when you have a planned and particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any given moment.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like that's perfect, honestly. I think that's a hard degree because I feel like because she has meticulous tendencies, she would probably make a list for what she's going to do the next day and then just kind of not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Your mood can change very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's the entire game.
I was just really thinking, like, yes, like, yeah, it went from happy, sad to just shocked. It was a lot of emotions.
I feel like her overall mood was always kind of dreary, though.
It was really sad for me. Yeah. I felt so bad.
Right. Yeah, the player has the most ride in that game. It's not any of the characters. It's definitely
no.
For sure. Because even, like, the person who you're playing as for half the game, Ellie, like, she's hell-bent on doing one thing. Like, she's focused on one thing the entire time. Whereas Abby, on the other hand, Abby has more of a fluctuation of
she does.
Goals. And Abby, in my opinion, is the better character. As in, well, the most change, the most growth, the most something to latch onto. Whereas Ellie gives you a lot of things where you're just like, like,
she's not gonna be okay. She's not gonna be okay. Yeah, that's a good point, because like Abby, like, just dusts, like, it obviously is pretty tough on her. She gets her revenge, but like the fact that she can move on and find something that gives her hope again, like rather quickly.
I also think that's also kind of unfair too, because Abby gets her revenge. Abby does it, and then Ellie is just forced to not really get that in a way. Which, to be fair, she shouldn't have like pursued that anyway. But Abby pursues and finishes her revenge. Like, it's done. That chapter is it's tucked away. Whereas Ellie, she doesn't get that that kind of release for her. Mm-hmm. So I don't.
Or at least to just try to heal from it. Like, that was a bad decision.
Right. Yeah, we don't really see that. We kind of see her.
She kills some of the people involved.
Yes. But I mean, like, the very last scene where she's playing the guitar with missing a finger.
Yeah.
Is it 2 fingers? Yeah, I think it's
2 fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is super like symbolic of her entire journey. Because, like, just going on a tangent real quick, that I think that scene at the end really just means that how revenge isn't worth it. Like, this is your joy right now, and you literally can't have it because of what you did. So, like, don't. At least I'm putting it in the most lame terms possible.
No. Like, you did it. Yeah, it was it was intense. It was deep. I was just like, good God.
I feel like that whole game is like, this is what this means. This is symbolic because of this. This is symbolic because of this, and you're like, cool.
Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna go cry in the corner now. Thank you.
Exactly. It's either A, going over my head, or B, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel it. All right, so we agree that that's a hard agree. Your mood can change very quickly.
Yes.
Okay. Next question. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life.
I don't see her doing that. Yeah.
I don't see her doing that either. And it says
she doesn't have the liberty.
Yeah, so I think that's a hard disagree. I think if it says you contemplate the reasons for human existence or meaning of life, I feel like it might be a middle of the road disagree, just because, like, I feel like she could, especially if she found that weed room again.
Yeah. Well, you're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
But yeah, hard disagree.
Okay.
That one. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions.
Disagree.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Those last ones those last 4 questions were hard agree, hard disagree. And I think that I just want to point this out. This is a hard switch, because Goku had a lot of hard this or hard that. Like, he didn't have a lot of road stuff. And usually my last guest and I, we talked about how he's kind of lacking nuance, like nuance
Yeah.
writing in a way. And since Ellie is all over the board, like that's kind of a testament to the writing of The Last of Us. And
It really is.
the character of Ellie. So this is really fun. I really like this.
This is a good idea. This is a good
Yeah.
idea. This is
I
cool.
love it.
Dissecting.
Thank you.
I
So
love
much.
this. I'll watch the rest. I promise. I'm interested.
Yeah. It's a long episode. I understand. Trust me. When I had this idea when I was workshopping, and I was like, it'll be like an hour. It'll be fine. And it's longer than an hour. I promise. You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. Why do you laugh?
Aw, it's sad. No, she doesn't.
Yeah, not at all.
She doesn't know what that is, so
Hard to
man, I wish she did. That'd be great. She would definitely go into space.
See,
She would be an astronaut. She would be an astronaut for sure.
I think she would be a artiste of sorts, whether it's music or creating of some sort. But I think she would have an emphasis in that kind of stuff. Like her music would kind of like how Elton John and like Rocket Man and that kind of stuff. Like it would have that kind of influence on her work.
Okay.
Maybe that's just.
I can see it.
I would love just like a short story of like Ellie in an alternate dimension where this doesn't happen. Like
that's probably out there. There's lots of fan fiction. Well, you can find something. You should read that on your show.
No, reading fan fiction is a trap. That is a trap.
That's when you know when you made it, though, because you have people writing fan fiction about you.
That's very true.
That's me and Kayla's ultimate goal.
Don't say
that. That's when we can put down the mic. We've made it.
Oh no. I feel sorry for you already. You rarely dwell on your regrets. I would agree.
Yeah.
Because the word rarely is there.
Regret. Yeah.
Yep. I would agree. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you feel drained and in need of a getaway. Yes, that's just that's a hard agree.
Yeah.
It's the same question we got 4, 5, 6 times already, but they just put a lot of words in it.
Yeah. Try to trip us up.
Yeah, which they shouldn't do in a test about your own personality. Like, let me put that out there. Let me stress that. You should make these as dumbed down as possible. And you see yourself as more of a realist than a visionary. Yeah. I would say so.
Yep.
Is that a hard agree? Or is that a middle of the road agree?
I feel her also being a little like back to like her like creative sort of like mindset. I could see her like a little bit envisioning like what could be sometimes, right?
No,
like
I agree
if this
with
works
that.
out.
I agree with that. I just think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like visionary is almost kind of like someone who takes the first step. A visionary is someone who like isn't afraid to go outside of the norm. I guess that is true about Ellie, but I don't feel like she's gonna like I don't feel like she's gonna push that on anyone. She's not gonna push that agenda.
I mean, she's always gonna do what she wants, and like
okay.
but also like I don't see her going out and like playing the guitar in front of everybody. You know, and be like, look what I did.
I'm gonna preface this with I totally agree that this should be a middle of the road agree, but I just think there's nuance to this question. You see yourself as more of a realist than a visionary, and I'm gonna Google the word visionary real quick. Hold on.
Okay, just double check because like also went to a small country town school. I could be wrong. That's my country accent because I'm from the South. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I'm not from the South.
Let's get the definition. Let's make sure we got it right.
Get that there definition. Thinking about or planning the future with imagination or wisdom. Okay, so it's not a person with original ideas about what the future will. Yeah, so it's nothing about leading the way. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like in like normal media and storytelling, visionary kind of implies a little bit of that, but that could just be me. So yeah, I feel like this could be a middle of the road agree or hard agree.
Middle of the road agree.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
It is. Set in stone. You find it easy to empathize with a person who has gone through something you never have. No.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a hard disagree.
Yes.
And I don't think there's any nuance in that because it says you find it easy. So it's not saying it's impossible for her to do this. It's just saying when you do
not
do
easy.
it was not easy for you.
Showing empathy in general. Any question Can you show empathy? Yep. No.
Yeah, not very well.
No.
Your personal. Oh, sorry. That was a hard disagree.
Yes, hard disagree. Right. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Your personal work style is closer to a spontaneous bursts of energy than to organizing consistent efforts. Is this I hope we weren't all over the place. I'm thinking about this, and I hope we didn't like mess this up somewhere along the way. But that's okay. So I think, because we agree that she's meticulous on some things, but we also know that she is spontaneous on some things. And I feel like she leans more towards spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? Is that what we kind of came to a consensus?
Yeah, I don't. Okay. Just sort of like, not for fun, but just sort of like.
Right.
Just whatever, right?
That's just where her brain goes. It just wanders like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So is this maybe a soft agree?
Soft agree. Yeah, let's do that. So that's with what we think and the evidence.
Perfect. Second to last page. We're almost done. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Ooh, the look of your eyes told me everything I need to know. Okay, moving on. Hard disagree. That was a hard agree.
So, agree. Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, maybe he read it wrong. Let me just make sure.
No. Nope.
Or maybe I read it wrong.
Your emotions control you more than you control them. Yeah, no, she's driven by her emotions for sure.
Yes.
After a long and exhausting week, a fun party is just what you need. Yeah,
Disagree.
Disagree.
Get that out of here. I'm the same way. Nah, I'm okay.
Yeah, I would not do that. Partying is not my thing. I literally party like once a year. Like that's it.
we're very similar. Like
I've got my
I have like
my
at least
one
2
party.
off days. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that totally. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life. No.
You don't know.
Is this a hard disagree?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to point out how, like, 2 pages ago, I was like, wow, Ellie is just all over the place. And she's
now
not,
we're just like...
yeah, I was say, wow, she's very
weird.
nuanced. Good job. And then now, as soon as I said that, everything's like the exact opposite of that. Anyway, maybe we're just getting drained by how long this is taking. Who knows?
I think so. A little bit. That's okay.
That's right. You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something.
Disagree.
You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. Yeah, disagree. Hard disagree.
Mm-hmm.
You still honor the commitments you have made, even if you have change of heart.
I don't know. I feel like she's committed. I feel like if she doesn't
necessarily honor them in a way that's like, I don't know, just. Because like her commitment should have been to Dina.
Yeah.
But she didn't really honor that commitment because Dina had to leave.
Oh, no. Not at all.
Exactly. You still honor the commitments you have, even if it's hard. So I would say for the most part for the most part she does is the thing.
Oh, I'm just reading this wrong.
Well, no, I think because what I just said is that she doesn't, but I feel like that's just one huge example in the entirety of the Last of Us Part 2. So, but I don't know that's hers.
I just want to know what kind of commitments she has.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah.
When I hear commitments, I hear plans next week that me and my friends made that I now want to cancel. It's like, it's been a long day.
Right.
It's different types of commitments. I don't know. What do you think? I'll let you. I trust you.
You still on. So, you know what? I think this is a soft disagree.
Okay.
Because the entirety of that game is her not really honoring any commitment besides the one she only has to herself.
Yeah.
You rarely feel insecure.
She definitely feels insecure sometimes.
Yes, I would say so too.
I
feel like a really good example of that is when like she kind of discovers that Dina likes her, and she's like, "Wait, what?
Yeah,
really?
just like,
why?"
And even like the next day, she's like, it's okay. You're drunk.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah, it didn't mean anything clearly.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I would say this is a soft disagree.
Yeah,
Okay.
So because it's not like it doesn't define her character for sure. She's, soft disagree.
Soft disagree. Okay, so this is the last page. We get to see the results. We get to see who Ellie is as a human being. I don't even know what that word is. Did you get the
V word? Yes.
Don't
Sounds
say that.
like the V word.
That's the title of the episode.
Or the Harry Potter spell. One of those.
Yeah. It does sound like a Harry Potter spell. You're totally right.
Yeah. When you said it, I'm afraid to say it. I'm gonna butcher it.
Virtuoso? I think
Virtuoso.
Yeah. So
I haven't heard of this one.
She's extremely introverted. Extremely introverted, which is, I think, accurate.
Whoa, yeah.
She's observant rather than intuitive, which I like how it's 20% intuitive because I feel like she does have that at times, but very rarely. Yep. And then for her nature, she's more thinking than feeling. I feel like that's also accurate. 78-22. So tactics. She's more prospecting than judging. This trait reflects reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. So that one is a little up in the air for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't really.
This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. The term prospecting is kind of throwing me for a loop.
It is, and like judging, prospecting, I'm trying to see like, I don't know how those like work off each other.
Yeah, I think we can read more about that below, so I will read that in a second. Okay, so identity. She's more turbulent than assertive, but barely. Yeah, and I feel like that's pretty true. I almost feel like it would have been.
Yeah.
It probably should have been a little more turbulent because she isn't exactly assertive. She's assertive when she's like reached her limit and she doesn't give a shit anymore, like the entirety of the game. But I feel like overall,
yeah, like
she's not very assertive. Yeah, Ellie is virtuoso. Yeah. I'm gonna read about tactics real quick if that's even there. Hold on. I also want to see. There's a quote here by Harrison Ford. It says, "I wanted to live a different life. I didn't want to go to the same place every day and see the same people and do the same job. I wanted interesting challenges." And that does kind of sound like something Ellie would say.
Yeah.
Maybe not that like eloquently, but I feel like she would say something along those lines.
I like to see her quote. Just, I guess.
It's just a picture of her shoulders shrugging.
Yeah.
That's it. That's her quote. Insight of the day. Virtuosos are the most likely personality type to sleep in. I feel like that also feels like an Ellie thing to do because doesn't she sleep in the game?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, like the first thing you see with her.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I overslept.
They're like, you oversleep? She's like, no, I'm getting up.
I'm fine. Yeah, let's go.
Oh, okay. So her strengths and
weaknesses. That's pretty cool.
Let's go through that real quick. Just the strengths. She's optimistic and energetic.
Not really optimistic. I feel like she could be if circumstances.
She's
were
definitely
different.
capable. She's definitely capable of both those things, for sure. She's creative and practical. Totally agree with those two things. Spontaneous and rational. Totally agree with both those things. Know how to prioritize. Yes, she's very capable of doing it. I just don't know how often she sticks to it.
Yeah.
Like, she would set a goal. I think she set a goal often. I just don't think she follows that very often. Great in a crisis.
Yes.
Now that is something I agree with.
I mean, if someone's like busting into my house, I would love to have her here. I would be able to see very like they could be in the house trying to rob me, and I just like Ellie's downstairs. That'd be fine.
Ellie's downstairs, missing two fingers. Like she's got it.
She's got it.
And then she's also relaxed, which I feel is
just chill.
Odd. Yeah.
Relaxed, you know.
Weaknesses. She's stubborn. Absolutely, she's stubborn.
Wow, that's so cool.
She's insensitive. I feel so.
Yeah.
Private and reserved. Yes, absolutely, yeah. Dina can't get anything out of her for the most part. Easily bored. That one I don't necessarily agree with, though.
Me neither, because like I feel like she's always finding something to mess around with or do or be busy. Yeah,
virtuosos enjoy novelty, which makes them excellent tinkerers, but much less reliable when it comes to focusing on things long term. Once something is understood, virtuosos tend to simply move on to something new and more interesting.
Maybe boards is probably the, distracted would maybe be a better description. Right. I don't know.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that too. I feel like in a normal world, this might be more Ellie. But because like her options on things to focus on long term are very limited. So dislikes commitment, risky behavior. Yeah, those are two completely accurate things for Ellie. So we decided today, or we found out today, that Ellie is a virtuoso personality. This is definitive proof right here.
We have to tell Neil Druckmann. I wonder if he's done
Absolutely.
this. Has he done this to test his own, like...
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Like, have you taken this for Ellie? Huh?
Man, you should tweet at him that you've done this. No one else has done this. That'd be pretty dope.
I might try that. I won't get a reply, but I was right.
I'll reply. Be like, look at it. Would you look at it? Look at this.
Overall, you think Virtuoso fits Ellie?
Yeah, I do.
I do too. I think we did well, and I'm glad that we got the same results because of my last episode we did not, which was very odd. So yeah.
I'm glad we did too, because like I was really worried about. I was like, man, I hope I clicked the right one. I think that was it.
Yeah. I need to be more better on that. That's on me for sure. But the more I do this, hopefully I improve. What's that?
I want to see like who like other. I was gonna go to the bottom and see like other famous figures. Olivia Wilde.
Okay, you got it.
Who's Bear Grylls?
Bear Grylls. He's like a nature freak. Like he lives outdoors and like.
Yeah, he's holding a snail. So I was like, nature guy.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan.
very much so.
Clint Eastwood, Mila Jovovich, Daniel Craig.
I know that. Oh, that's a good one. I like Daniel Craig.
Tom Cruise, Michelle Rodriguez.
These are some really cool ones. I got some really like dumb ones. I don't remember who they are, but they weren't very like fun, I suppose.
I could go through these forever. Okay, I'm gonna quit being distracted. James Bond.
Hey, I mean Daniel Craig. So like,
that makes sense.
That's doubling up. So yeah,
you're cheating.
We're gonna wrap it up here, folks. This was way longer than I will ever want to do any podcast ever in my life.
It didn't seem that long. But now that I look at my
that's great. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's hot in my room. That's probably why. It was not you. It was totally me for sure.
You're
it's just hot. I'm
perspirating.
What do you mean? I look great.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. I was really looking.
You got a little something. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so, Jerica, thank you for joining me today. This was a lot of fun. We found out that Ellie is a virtuoso, and no one else has done that, like you said. So we are the first people to do that. We're leading the way. Not a visionary. We decided that today.
Yeah.
So feel free to plug anything you want. What do you do? What are you working on?
So, like I mentioned the beginning of the episode, JKGames, you can find us at JKGames Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. We actually do a lot with Instagram, where we like ask questions of the week and we read those live on the show. Kayla does a really good job of doing that. But yeah, if you like hearing about video game news, commentary from two ladies that love playing games and, spending our time with each other, and we talk about random stuff too. Like there's one episode, it's titled Cowboys and Churches. So like I said, we're from the South, so Kayla went to a cowboy church one day. You'll just have to listen to that episode to find out what that's about.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds really
it was really interesting. Yeah. Kayla does a lot of interesting, I almost said weird. She does a lot of interesting things. But I'm glad she does those things because I really just play video games. Like, that's really all I do.
Just a weeb over here. Cowboys and Churches sounds like an album, doesn't it? Kind of.
It does.
Cowboys and Churches. Or maybe a band. Maybe a band. Yeah. I don't know. Something along those lines.
Cowboys and Churches. There we go now. That's not how they would sound. I don't know. I feel like they'd be more like an indie, like folk band.
What a great way to leave the podcast off.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime. Yeah, once again, JKGames Podcast, JKGames. You can subscribe, leave us a review, listen if you like it. That's great. Cool. That's all I have to say.
They're definitely worth your time. I love the perspectives. There's not one I get every day, so they do good stuff. They do great work.
Thank you. Well, once again, thank you for having me. This is really cool. I'm so glad you asked me to do this because it was definitely unique, and you gave me like an idea of what we were going to do, and it was a really cool surprise what we ended up doing and what we got to talk about. So thanks.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much for joining me. And so this was Project Personality Podcast. We talked about Ellie. We found out Ellie is a virtuoso. So you want to find out someone else, a different character? I keep stumbling over my words. If you want to find out what another character, like next week we might be doing Prince Zuko from Avatar: Last Airbender.
I'm down. Let's go. I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
If you want to find out what personality type Prince Zuko is. Tune in next week on Project Personality Podcast. I'm going to wave bye to the camera. You should do the same. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's my closing. It's lame. It's okay.
I think it's great.